Bad news for Democrats in Illinois this week as Michael Madigan, one of the state's top Democrats and a close political ally of Barack Obama, has announced he is resigning amid corruption-related investigations. A new article on this at ABC 7 Chicago opens saying, after 50 years in the state legislature, Mike Madigan is finally calling it quits. On Thursday, Madigan sent a letter to the House Speaker announcing that he will be resigning from the state representative post he has held since 1971. Been following these investigations for some time now on this channel, and a number of people close to Madigan have already been charged. And in other videos, we've looked at some previous scandals involving Madigan, including when he and Rahm Emanuel tried stealing $100 million in taxpayer money for an Obama library. Madigan and Emanuel dedicated 100 million taxpayer dollars to the project while failing to meet proper posting requirements and while no quorum had been present. Though construction is scheduled to start later this year, many in the neighborhood still oppose the project, and there have been ongoing protests by community activists and park preservationists concerned with how Obama plans to destroy much of Jackson Park and displace local residents, all in order to build a museum and library for himself. It's another new article from Breitbart following the resignation. It includes a statement from Madigan that says, "It's no secret that I have been the target of vicious attacks by people who sought to diminish my many achievements lifting up the working people of Illinois. The fact is, my motivation for holding elected office has never wavered. I have been resolute in my dedication to public service and integrity, always acting in the interest of the people of Illinois." Madigan went on to add, quote, "I leave office at peace with my decision and proud of the many contributions I've made to the state of Illinois, and I do so knowing I've made a difference." This article continues saying the scandal-plagued state representative's resignation comes on the heels of his first ever election loss for leadership of the state's House of Representatives. Madigan had been House Speaker since 1983. With the exception of the 2 scant years Republicans controlled the legislature, but this year, for the first time, he could not muster the votes from his caucus to win the Speaker's chair. They suggest that his loss was likely the result of a swirling controversy over implications that he may have been involved in a years-long bribery scheme involving Illinois electric company ComEd. They remind us how in 2019, federal prosecutors announced that ComEd would be fined $200 million for a scheme including bribes in the form of no-show jobs and contracts to associates of public official A. This official is assumed to be Madigan, but no confirmation has been made public. The U.S. Attorney's Office implicated a high-level elected official, labeled Public Official A, in the electric company's attempts to sway said official by doling out exclusive contracts and no-show jobs to his friends and associates. Illinois prosecutors have not outright charged Madigan in the scandal, but they have said that it strains credulity that he could have been in the dark about the growing bribery scandal. This article concludes with a statement from Illinois House Republican leader Jim Durkin, who said, quote, "Today's news of Representative Madigan's retirement comes as no surprise to me and every other Illinoisan, and I have been looking forward to this new day in Illinois for some time. I urge the Democrats in both chambers and the governor to reflect on how we can use this opportunity to improve. Madigan's autocratic rule over the decades has not made Illinois a more prosperous nor competitive state." At the end of this article, they say still the resignation is sending shockwaves through Illinois politics. Illinois Democrat sources told Breitbart News that they are worried about what Madigan's departure means for the future of the state party. Many are concerned over the loss of such an effective leader and are worried that Republicans may make gains in the state and in the coming post-Madigan era. Finally, looking at one more related article from late last month, hinting at what could be next for Madigan in this investigation. This headline reads, "Michael Madigan may no longer be Mr. Speaker, but federal corruption probe still looms despite his sidelining." They ask here, does Madigan's lost stature take any wind out of the Fed's sails? Would prosecutors count his abdication a victory and back off? The answer here says, not a chance. Legal experts and former Feds told the Tribune. A quote says, if they are convinced that Michael Madigan is guilty of a crime beyond a reasonable doubt, they will indict him, even if he's dog catcher for the 13th Ward. That's according to Ronald Safer, a former federal prosecutor who represented House Republicans during ComEd hearings last year. He also said it doesn't matter to them. It's not how prosecutors operate. State government has a history of lawmakers resigning while facing federal heat, this article also points out, including some who wound up escaping criminal charges. Madigan's situation is different, experts said. For one, he had reached the pinnacle of political power, the longest-running state House Speaker in the country, who for years has bankrolled the campaigns of favored Democrats with his multi-million-dollar war chest. He controlled everything from what legislation got considered in Springfield to how district maps were drawn. His profile arguably remains sky high, and the investigation swirling around him doesn't appear to be one investigators would easily abandon. It has unraveled an alleged scheme that is extraordinarily complex, and untold man-hours have been expended, wiretaps conducted, and search warrants executed. They further remind us how in November a federal grand jury indicted Michael McLean, a longtime ComEd lobbyist and trusted friend to Madigan, as well as the former CEO of ComEd and lobbyists John Hooker and Jay Doherty on bribery conspiracy charges. All four have pleaded not guilty. One more quote here from another former federal prosecutor says, Madigan stepping down as Speaker was a political calculus in response to waning political support. They're not totally disconnected. The waning support is related to the ComEd investigation and the effect that's had, but it doesn't signal one way or another what will happen to him in that probe or whether or not he's likely to be charged. Please leave a comment and tell me what you think about this latest update. If you could give this video a thumbs up, remember to click the like button, that's greatly appreciated, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. And as usual, thank you very much everyone who has helped support this channel with your donations over at Patreon or PayPal. Even just a few dollars makes a huge difference and helps me keep talking about these important issues. You can find either link down in the video description, where you can support this channel directly, patreon.com/realityreader or paypal.me/realityreader. I will follow up soon. Thanks again.